Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, he's a very successful entrepreneur. He has a wildly successful law firm. He has a healthcare startup, and now he's just launched a new comedy legal podcast. His incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, as you know from watching this show, I'm a proud member of EO Dallas, and it's a group of very successful entrepreneurs. And I got to run into Bill Richmond again. We've known each other for years, and I got reacquainted recently. And I said, you got to come on my show. Bill Richmond, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so blown away by you because you're a young man, but you've been so wildly successful. Why don't we start with the legal work first?
Sure.
When did you know you wanted to be a lawyer?
I want to say it was probably freshman year of high school. A friend invited me to go join the debate team and the mock trial team. And before that, I'd only played musical instruments and a little bit of sports, and I was hooked. And I knew something in the field was calling to me as I wound my way through high school mock trial and college mock trial and ended up in Dallas at law school.
Wow. Okay, tell me about law school.
It was wonderful. I loved it. I had a great time. SMU law was a fantastic experience. I'm still very close to many of my classmates who have all become incredibly successful. But the best part is that Dallas is such an inviting city. Eventually my parents moved down here. I met my wife here. And so, Dallas has always been a welcoming business environment, both for families and for colleagues.
Okay. And then you worked for some big law firms and then you broke out on your own?
Correct. So I worked at an international law firm doing litigation, high stakes across the country. Eventually went to a small litigation boutique based here in Dallas. But a few years in of that, the entrepreneurial bug bit very hard, and myself and 2 of my classmates who had also gone the big law route, we all said, it's time to cast out on our own.
How scary was that? Because, I left a very comfortable job at Fox 4 News for, the wild west of entrepreneurship. Was it strange going out on your own?
It was, right? It's a lot of betting on yourself and really trying to figure out, is this the path that I'm going on? Is it the correct path? You try and lean on mentors and folks who've kind of gone the path before. But every day was a big worry. Is this going to be right for my family and for all of our families and the 3 starting partners? And fortunately, it's been wonderful.
Absolutely. We're going to pull up your dream team because every successful founder is only as good as his team. Why don't you brag about the kinds of people that you're bringing in?
Yeah, what's really incredible is it starts first, the price of admission is being an excellent attorney. And that's not just being good at the law, but it's being able to understand the bigger issues. All of our clients are business owners, entrepreneurs, fund managers, and each of them have larger aspirations around their own balance sheet and shareholders and creating value and delivering solutions. So I like to say, are tools. Lawyers are all tools, but also in the handy sense, which is we come in, help where we can, and that's it.
And what kinds of areas do you practice in?
So we're a full-service business firm, meaning that we are doing everything from corporate M&A, buying and selling businesses, commercial real estate transactions, business litigation, intellectual property, employment, and a variety of other areas. In fact, we also do a lot of international work. Dallas has become more and more of a hub in Texas at large, and so we help a lot of business owners both navigate the overseas aspects as well as particularly business owners and companies coming into Texas.
Wow. And if law wasn't enough, he decided to branch into healthcare. So we're going to pull up this website, and I want you to describe what this company does.
So Care Guide is the premier health patient advocacy group helping to save on hospital bills. So we do that through our team based in the U.S. of patient advocates who wake up every day excited to help employees, their families, health plans, employers to save on the ever-growing costs of healthcare. So we have our own proprietary technology that we've created, and we are helping save millions of dollars every month for real Americans.
Okay, so tell us how that works. So if a a company like mine, we're happy with our healthcare plan. What if we jumped over to yours? What would happen?
Yeah, so what we do is we bolt on to existing health plans. So whether folks have a very rich plan or a plan that gives more limited benefits, we cover the full spectrum because what we're doing is agnostic to what your existing health plan is, if you even have one. So we work through a bunch of distributors to get out through health plans and to get into self-insured employers. And then ultimately we help navigate folks to affordable care because you could go to the same zip code and the MRI could cost $500 here and $1,500 right down the road.
Wow.
And then on the back end, helping again save millions of dollars on cancer care, pediatrics, all types of real types of situations that could put people into bankruptcy because they just really can't afford it.
So the big buzzword right now is AI. How are you harnessing the power of AI?
So right now we're using AI in the background to really help crunch data, but we've taken a people-first approach, which means when you call in, you get a live person, you get assigned an advocate who will help see your case all the way through to the end. So what we've done is made a people-first but tech-enabled environment. AI continues to develop, so we'll use it where it's appropriate, but first and foremost is our proprietary data arming our advocates.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I noticed about you is you're a great communicator, and not every lawyer is a great talker. And so talk about how that played a role in your life, both in healthcare and in law, and now in your comedy podcast.
So really the commonality between my law job and my health job is I'm helping people in broken systems navigate it. And in the legal world, that was one type of solution. In healthcare, that's another. And another kind of side aspect is I've always enjoyed, since getting into mock trial in high school, helping people in some way, and also doing that through using communication skills. So I recently launched a legal comedy podcast on YouTube. It's called Hardly Legal. My co-host Josh Stramiello is also an attorney and also does stand-up comedy. And similar to Loveline with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla, we have real people call in with real legal issues, and we help them anonymously, give them some clarity around the issues, and help get them to legal resources, including legal aid or even attorney referrals, so folks can get the help they need. It's a crazy world out there, and I've seen it from the inside. And Josh and I both feel very compelled to deliver this out there, and it's been really well received.
Okay, so you call it a comedy legal podcast. What does that involve?
So it's a little hard to get through life without laughing at sometimes the bad circumstances, and always doing it respectfully. Sure. But Josh and I both do stand-up comedies as well as being attorneys. And then in our third chair, we have a professional touring comedian. So we've had national acts from LA, from Austin, from Oklahoma, who have come in to be guests. And they add a little levity to the situation, but that's really the best way. We're connecting with real people and their real issues. And it just shows that lawyers don't have to be stuffy and stodgy, talk with $10 words every minute. These are real issues, and we can give real talk when we're dealing with it.
And I know law can be a little dry, so can healthcare. Is this kind of your outlet? Is this your release?
It is. It is. I enjoy putting smiles on faces, and I really have. I love the craft of comedy and stand-up comedy in particular. I think that the ability to be incisive, to cut to the truth and speak truth to power are all very, very important, and comedians play a role there. I am by no means a professional. I am certainly at the very lowest apprentice levels on that side, but it goes hand in hand with law and with healthcare, advocating on behalf of people, trying to give them a little bit of clarity in what is always a chaotic life.
Okay, since we're both fans of entrepreneurs and we've already sipped that Kool-Aid, talk to the person who is thinking about breaking out on their own. Because there's a lot of people. It's become very trendy. Okay, I don't like my boss, so I'm just going to go out and start my own company.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone.
It isn't. It isn't. The first thing I tell people is you'll have a new and different and oftentimes more life-encompassing stress and worry, and you'll take it all on your shoulders. But there's nothing more fulfilling for the people who are built for it. And some folks are built for organizations and they thrive. I am not. And I had to learn that early in my career, but I was, called to be able to create organizations that break the mold on how you treat people, how you deliver solutions, regardless of the industry. And so for those who really feel a deep and abiding love for changing the world, entrepreneurship is absolutely one of the best ways to do that.
Okay, we're almost out of time. So final thoughts. What would you like to leave people with?
I'm just really inspired by, Jeff, what you've built here, the incredible way you're telling stories. It goes hand in hand with what we're doing at the law firm at Platt Richmond, what we're doing on the Hardly Legal Show, what we're doing at Care Guide, because ultimately if we can create these good opportunities and platforms for people to do what they're meant to do, save a little money, get good legal advice, laugh through hard times, get to tell their story, I think that we've made the world a better place.
Wow, what a great way to end this segment. We're also going to leave you with two of his websites. We'll start with the legal website, which is plattrichmond.com, and then the healthcare website, which is cgasaves.com. The great Bill Richmond. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.